The Whiskey Brothers.
Welcome, everybody, to the Whiskey Brothers podcast. Episode, where are we, Jerry Wayne Longmire?
1031?
1031 is the episode number. We may stop counting at some point. What's the purpose? We are your Whiskey Brothers. Cheers to Jenny Dracaris, who is joining us. Look at me.
Jenny.
Some of the stuff that we just leave laying on the table. That's
That
fun.
girl's going crazy with her art. Have
Yeah.
you been seeing all the shit she's been making lately?
No, but the studio
Yeah.
is covered in Jenny Dracaris art. Slade is Deadpool, and my Dragon Slayer from a birthday many, many years previous. And then Sam as Magneto. You have a hulking out Jaybird.
Yeah, so I'm building my sound studio right now in my new garage, and that's gonna be kind of the centerpiece of my me wall is the whole Jenny's.
Nice.
So I'm gonna build everything around it.
Jerry Wayne Longmire is my co-host on this episode. Goodwill Loden is doing the Lord's work over there behind the scenes. Everyone has COVID suddenly.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
else.
Trey's on a hiatus.
I-
Hiatus.
That's so he slept in. Everyone is somewhere,
Or
but
is that a sabbatical?
I don't know the difference in all the different words.
I don't really know what sabbatical means. I always thought it had to do with not working on Sunday.
Yeah, sabbatical is like where you take a break. Oh no, wait, that's the sabbatical.
Well, the Sabbath. I thought it came from that word. I just read the word a lot, and I just thought, well, this should be
SABBAT. That is What? Whoa!
Right?
You
Like-
just educated me on the origin of a word.
Yeah. Well, I know a little etymology.
I know. I just usually, if you can't pronounce it, I assume you don't know where it came from. Which is a lot of words. We raise a glass to you guys, those of us who are here. J-Dubs. We're drinking. What are we drinking? We're drinking New Riff. This was
that
part
stuff's
of the
good.
package sent to us by our good friend Mary Whitaker in Northern Kentucky.
Oh, this
So-
is the rye one. We ain't tried this
Yeah,
one
I was
yet.
going to
All right,
save
cool,
this
cool.
one. This is a sour mash rye, and I was going to save it to just drink by myself. I'm having a week. It's 95% rye, 5% malted rye. So we're going to drink this. Did I tell you what happened to me?
No.
My bike got stolen off my porch.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
That ain't worth shit.
No, and I'm trying to decide who or how my anger, I don't know where to direct it. I'm
Yeah.
certainly mad at the person who stole it, right?
Yeah.
Fuck them. But then my neighbor, who I love dearly, right? They're this old Mexican couple. They've been together
the jazz guy.
they've been together I finally figured him out. I've lived here long enough to have him figured out. That couple's just been together so damn long that he mows his lawn every day.
Just to be out.
Spring, winter, summer, fall, 2:00 in the afternoon in the middle of June. He doesn't give a shit. He would rather drop dead out there than have another conversation with this woman. So he does everything. He whittles. He listens to whatever radio is on. You've heard it. Some days it's jazz. Some days it's Tupac. Some days it's classical. Some days it's Vietnamese language talk.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Just don't let me hear this woman. Lawnmower, whatever. Now the woman is the nicest, kindest old woman in the world. She is oblivious to the fact that they don't get along. He's just out there doing his thing. He's doing his thing. So she lets him do his thing, and she occasionally comes out and putters around in the garden with the plants that aren't dead. And occasionally, like she did just then, she tries to do a good deed. She pulls my trash can in off the street. Now, she did this because the trash I don't know what they do. They pick the can up and then they violently fling it into the middle of the road when they're
Yeah.
done. There's no effort
With their
whatsoever.
giant robot arm.
Yes, to even try to put it close to the curb of the property. So she goes out and she gets it from the middle of the road and she drags it back up to the house and she sets it right near my fence. And I did a good thing. Well, yeah, you also created a Super Mario Brothers level right over my fence.
Are you telling me they hopped off that trash
Bro,
can?
right off the trash can, jumped the fence, threw the bike over,
I'd like to see some footage of that.
and took off. So would I.
Oh, I'm sure you
So
would.
so would I.
Just for distinguishing characteristics and what have you.
She was doing a good thing, but she really made it obvious, I didn't.
She did the math for somebody.
Yes, she did.
Somebody's walked by and looked at that bike a couple times. Boy, I'd like to have that bike. And then today or whatever day they walk by and we're like, oh, somebody built me a fucking ladder.
Yes,
That's nice.
that's what happened. I don't leave it out frequently. It's been a really good, like, it's my mental peace. I ride 2 or 3 times a day now, even if it's hot. I'm like the crazy old man next door with the lawnmower. It's just, I'm gonna go clear my head.
Just to keep you from having a conversation with yourself?
Absolutely. So I take the bike to the grocery store.
Before I make another fucking TikTok,
Absolutely.
let me out of this house and on that bicycle.
Exactly. Let me go to the grocery store and eat my feelings. So I would ride my bike, I would only get enough food for the day. So I was tired of dragging it in through the doors. It was like, that's just an extra step I don't need to do. You're going to get over my medieval fence. You're going to,
If somebody provides them a bounce pad, yes.
Yes. So I'm trying to absorb all the anger at myself for leaving it on the porch and not directing it at the mousy old Mexican woman next door who was just doing a good deed. I put it next to the fence so you wouldn't lose it. So you can find it easy. I put it next to the fence.
I bet she knows he doesn't like her.
That's
There's no way. Because I remember when you were talking about it, it made me think my papa one time, my papa used to go out there after dinner and water the yard with a water hose.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
like thumb
yeah.
over
yes.
not even with a sprayer.
No,
thumb
like
over the
middle of America,
and
1980s.
he'd water the yard. He'd spend him a good 30, 45 minutes out there watering the yard. And so I thought I was being really cool one year, and I gave him a really nice water sprinkler to hook up to his thing. And he said, "Boy, get that sumbitch out here." I said, "Papa, I thought you'd like it." I was like, "It's made in America. It came from Walmart." I mean, because that was one of his other big.
Oh.
He's like, "No, don't let your Meemaw see that sumbitch." He said, "The only peace I get is when I go out there and water that damn yard every day."
He barely turns it on to a trickle. He's over there dripping the yard, just sprinkling
like,
holy water.
He's like, "You're taking away my escape," you know?
Is that, I don't know, but do old couples get that? You and your wife have, y'all been together how long? 10 years?
15 years.
15 years. Y'all aren't at that point yet, right?
Well, we are.
I'm asking the guy who's been on a John Deere for most of the.
We're definitely at a point where she has heard all my stories, and she's always eager for a new one,
right?
As long as it doesn't involve anything stupid. But she is, and I've heard most of her stories and stuff, but. We have so many other things in common that we have a pretty good time, and we're really good at making fun of other people. So that's like we spend a lot of our time.
See, now I'm about
being
to get
snarky.
I'm about to get inquisitive. I feel like I'm interviewing a guy in a relationship about relationships, so I could make sure I don't want to be in a relationship. But I'm not coming into this biased. I'm also trying to convince myself I do.
Ah.
So 15 years is like this perfect benchmark of you guys have been together. You're not some spring chickens who just met and then going through your honeymoon phase, but you're also not at the end of the Notebook where you're.
But we made it past 7-year itch.
So
which
is
that's
that
the one that kills a lot of couples?
Is the 7? It was going to be my first question. Was the 7-year period a real period, or is it kind of like that's when you find your voice in comedy? People just like to give things 7-year time periods, and it really fluctuates. Where maybe you guys wanted to kill each other at 5 years, or maybe it took till 9.
I mean, if I'm being honest, around 7 to 9 years, there was a few periods there where things were hard. I mean, we had young children, and we were struggling money wise, in which that always creates discord. And so, I mean, there was times there where things were difficult. I had to learn a lot about communication in that period because. Even before that, in that time we were together, I hadn't really learned how to just like say what the fuck I want, or just, not dance around the subject, but just say what was on my mind and stuff like that. And it, of course, women are usually better communicators than men.
Wait, that works?
What's that? Talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying what you're feeling?
Dude, that made all the difference in our marriage. when she convinced me to start saying exactly what the fuck was on my mind.
Which is funnier, that's the solution, or that I'm surprised that's the solution?
I mean, we always had a good thing, and we were definitely in love with each other, but that really made things so much better was when we finally got to a point where we could just, like, say what the fuck we were really thinking about stuff and really – and also –
did it come as a shock where y'all were like,
we got
wait.
married 2008, so 2018 would have been 10 years. So yeah, right around that 7-year period is when my mother died, and then like 2 years after that, her father died, who was her person.
Oh, so
there
you guys
was
went through
a lot
the
of grief and shit, and our children were very young, and it was when each one of our parents died, one of us had to come home every day and pretend everything was okay for the kids.
right. Who died first? Your mom?
My mom.
So so is it one of those things where like a couple that goes like when a couple meets? I only have movies for example, but in that Sylvester Stallone movie where there was a volcano or something, that when you go through some traumatic shit with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, was there like an instant deeper bonding where you're like, all right, man, we were cool for the first 7 years, but then also like my mom died and you jumped in the passenger seat, no questions asked.
Yeah, it was definitely we've been through some things that we couldn't have survived with other people, and definitely for my part of it, and she's vocalized the same thing. I would not have survived that without her. I'd have been another comic in a hotel room.
Totally
You know
fair.
What I mean?
Yeah.
I would have, not that I would have killed myself or anything like that, but I would have drank and drugged myself off the
100%. And worse, I'd be doing this episode by myself.
Yeah. But definitely, that's, and also in between. So it's kind of a crazy time. 2012, our son's born, right? Our youngest. 2013, my mom dies. And then 2015, right at the beginning of that year, her dad dies. And then in the middle of 2015, I quit my job I've had for 10 years to go start another business and then fall off a roof and damn near die.
Right.
And so there was a lot of...
It was a busy couple of years.
Yeah, there was like 3 years of us just trying to stay alive and recover from these huge, grievous traumas.
So where is she? So now... And this is because you've taken the turn. You're doing well on TikTok. You're successful to a certain level. Like surprise, is it because she's been like ride or die even when it wasn't doing anything?
When it was terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's she say? Oh, Daddy's going to record his TikToks in the garage.
Yeah. I mean, well, my kids all know about it, and we talk about it and stuff, and they're kind of interested. Actually, they're not. That's so
fascinating.
My Aubrey could not give a shit about it.
Because they should right now, right? Like
they got excited when got my name up at the Improv.
Okay.
That kind of tickled Aubrey. And the first time I got a viral video, I think Aubrey got tickled because I was so excited. But Aubrey doesn't think anything I do is funny.
Okay.
And they're a very hard
All
laugh.
your jokes are dad jokes.
Yeah. They're a very hard laugh.
Right.
Judy's a hard laugh. I go back and forth calling them Aubrey and Judy. But they're a hard laugh. And Rachel's a harder laugh because Rachel was a talent buyer and ran a comedy club and booked talent and watched a lot of bad comedy. And
so you just play
very
into a
jaded.
dead audience all day, every day? How do you know?
I just work really hard to get a fucking laugh.
You just get eye rolls from them all day long?
I get a lot of eye rolls from Aubrey. Aubrey, it's so funny to me because Aubrey wasn't really around my mother that much because they were very young when my mom died. But my mom used to do this face when she had had enough of me. And she would say, Jerry Wayne, and she'd say it this kind of way, and she'd make this face. And the craziest shit is Aubrey does that face. And it's
the genetic sneer.
It's like looking at I'm like, that one cuts too close to home.
Is that when you get one of those? Do you just scrub a whole sketch?
Yeah.
That's not gonna make the cut.
This was dumb.
That's awesome. It's you were just in Fort Worth. How it was sold out. I would ask you how it was. It was
my milestone. It's my very first sellout show ever that I sold out.
Sold out the Red Room at the Fort Worth Hyenas, Hyenas is one of my favorite rooms in the world. I think you did that with me last time, right?
I did. Hyenas Dallas.
Okay. So you played it. Fans showed up. Somebody gave you a lawnmower. I
had no market in Fort Worth because I've not done appearances there. I've not performed there. Last time I was there was like 15 years ago at Cowboy Bill. Mm-hmm. So it's been.
So
nobody knows who I am there, and I spent 20 days making content, not really making flyers or anything like that. Me and Will were just talking about this. I made content that I thought people would want to watch anyways, and included an ad in it. instead of just blasting people with flyers all day, come to the show, buy tickets to the show, it was like, here's this funny thing you'll like, and also, buy some tickets to the show.
So let's talk, because you guys don't want to hear craft or whatever. Fuck off. I'm very curious about this. You make your videos. It started out just making fun of boots, which was many moons ago.
Yeah.
You still do? Or have you done a boot video lately?
Mm-mm.
You're doing a lot of.
The things I'm doing now. So the boot videos and the truck videos did very well, and they got tons of views, and they did build up a part of my following.
But let's explain. I want to explain this from for people who have no idea what this is. Right? TikTok is a platform that we're occasionally on. It's short form video. And you jumped on and were initially doing. Walk me through the path here.
Well, initially when I got on there, I was
how long ago?
April.
Okay.
Nope, that's not true. February. I started fucking around with it in February.
This is June.
Yeah, Juan Villarreal was like, "Hey man, I'm getting gigs off TikTok," and then I was like looking into all these TikTok people. We're getting booked at our comedy clubs, and they're not even comics, and they're getting paid more than us. And I was like, "Well, damn, I'm a comic. Why can't I do TikTok too and get booked on some of this shit?" And it started out, what I was originally doing with it was I was posting clips from the Wrecking Yard, the special that you produced for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to drive traffic to go watch the Wrecking Yard, and it was working. I would post a clip on there, and it would do well, and all of a sudden my YouTube views and my subscribers would go up. And so then, at some point, about a month in, Rachel's like, "Well, the Wrecking Yard's only an hour long. You're going to run out of clips. What are you going to do after that?" And so then there's all these trends on TikTok. So I started kind of like trying to do some of these trends, like these question and answer things. And I didn't really like any of that. None of it really did well for me. And you and me had a long conversation about doing shit with intent. And then I started following this content creator coach, Ken, the content creator coach. He's up in Louisville, Kentucky.
Wait, that's his name?
Well, no, it's his TikTok and his
social
media.
Yeah, I know it's not on his birth certificate. That's his screen name.
Ken, the content creator coach. Yeah, he's all he does is help people create content, and
it's right in the name.
Good at it. Yeah, he's very good at it. He kind of tells you the pitfalls to watch out for and stuff like that about building false followers and crap like that and attracting bots, and he really steers you through how to create a good, strong batch of content that is important to you. And so I was driving home from Dallas with you that night. I was following you home, and I watched that thing, and I got up the next day.
I like how you're watching a podcast on our drive home from Dallas.
Into it, whatever. But
we were in line at that Whataburger for a goddamn hour. You
I'm
could
a
have
very
watched
good driver.
The Irishman.
And I got home, and I woke up that Saturday, and I said, so I made that very first. I had this idea in my head because just kind of being a country boy and growing up in a junkyard, being around trucks and stuff, I've always kind of like joked when I saw like a crazy looking truck in a parking lot, like I can tell you exactly who owns that son of a bitch, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I just went and found these pictures of these trucks, and I put them up on it. You had taught me how to do green screen. A lot of this is you teaching me how to do shit. Me learn how to do shit through us, mm-hmm. Learn how to edit video and stuff. I'd been fucking with Black Magic. And so I started making these green screen videos, and I would just like put these pictures of these trucks up there and be like, "Oh yeah, this guy right here smokes 2 packs a day. He works this kind of job. He does this like that." And people went nuts for it, and it really took off. And so then I did some with boots, like this kind of dude that wears these boots, and this kind of dude that wears these boots, like snakeskin boots. It's probably a pretty good dude, but if you got a chubby sister, watch out. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain archetypes. It's just archetypes. Like we were talking about archetypes in the scene and stuff. Every one of these is based off somebody I love. Half of them are based on me. The truth of the matter is,
how many pairs of boots do you have?
Quite a few.
How many pairs of boots do you have?
Probably 12.
12? Like
different kinds, yeah.
What counts as a boot? Like everything from work boot to
work boot to slip on.
If it goes past your ankle and it laces?
If it's not a tennis shoe.
Okay.
And I call everything that's a shoe a tennis shoe.
All right, so, but not flip-flops and not church shoes.
And dress shoes or Skechers. No.
Okay, that's all right. So back to so you're making fun of your own boots, and then you're making fun of all these other boots.
So I made these and they went viral, and they did really well. Now here's the thing: I got kind of burnt out making them because they don't really test. They weren't like testing me comedically or anything like that, and they were pretty easy to put together. But also, there was a lot of negative feedback. A lot of people take things personally. And they come and they say a lot of ugly shit.
Those are my favorite boots, fucker.
I made a joke about square toe boots. I said square toe boots cause ED because your dick's just sad looking down at those clown shoes all day.
Oh God!
And that struck a nerve, dude. I had dudes mad as hell about me saying I didn't realize there's let me do square toe boots. I had the ED. I struck a nerve.
They got they're only square because my mom dropped me.
You fat motherfucker, you ain't even seen your dick. Just mad. Just like hot, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, I've never wanted to be like edgelord or controversial. It's not something that's in my wheelhouse that I got any interest in. I love stand-up because I love making people laugh. And I like making people feel better than they did before they met me. And a lot of these people didn't seem like they felt better than they did before they met me.
Right. No, the truck and boot crowd, not a happy at the core sort of demographic.
No. And so
they've had a rough couple of years. For sure since January 6th or something.
Yeah. And then I made one of the ones that really got me a lot of flack, and I left it up because I love it. But I did one of these green screen videos where I was like, here's all the things that would make a better governor than Greg Abbott. And
God.
I was like, this rock I tripped over on the sidewalk yesterday. This dog I saw at the park.
Oh, my God.
This half-eaten Cheeto. That video got a lot of views, if you can imagine.
So hang on. So this is where I'm curious. So I'm sure you track all this now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got data points.
Oh, I read those analytics like I'm reading the Bible anymore. It's crazy.
Okay, so you don't believe in analytics. What gets the most attention when you were posting a boot video that was kind of negative, or when you post something now that's all?
Well, we all know negative stuff always gets more attention.
Right.
Negativity always gets more attention.
But when you posted something political like the Abbott thing, negative or not, did it get more followers?
No, so that's the crazy thing. So those videos get millions of views, thousands of comments and reactions and a lot of interaction, which drives people to your page. But I was picking up followers, but not like when I started doing these videos that I'm doing now, which are these sketches about my grandpa, my dad, my uncle, and they're echoes of these men that I loved and cared about.
And you're playing all the characters in a clump sort of.
And I'm writing it, and it's just jump cuts, and it's just me having these conversations I remember growing up in. And the feedback is amazing, dude, because people are like, God, this takes me back to when I was a kid. God, I lost my dad last year, and this is the most comforting thing. And man, this is so funny. I lost it at this line, and they come and tell me what their favorite joke in the whole sketch is, and
wow,
and followers just blah, 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 blah. People just, hey man, you got an instant follow for this. This is the best thing I've seen on this whole app since it was created.
What's the turn time on that versus you making fun of boots? How long was it when you were doing? I'm in the weeds. I'm talking about the nerdy shit. But
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very hard to do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I was first making those green screen videos, I was learning, and I was still learning a lot of editing, and so they took me, film, edit, and deliver was 5-6 hours. Right? Now, a lot of times, like these sketches, depending on which direction, usually I film and I get about 3 sketches out of one film setup. And I'll film about 9 to 10 minutes of each character. I usually start with my dad first because it's the strongest echo. Do
you write a narrative, or do you just say a bunch of shit as these characters and clump it together?
I'll show you. I do this. Because
we're so used to just flipping through. We live in this disposable society where a TikTok video comes across, and you watch it, and you go, thunk.
I put 7 topics and ideas.
And you just let that guy riff.
And then I let my dad start because he's the easiest echo for me. And then I do my dad's lines, and while I'm doing my dad's lines, I think about how they would respond to it. And then I set my uncle up, and I record my uncle responding to my dad, or poking a little fun like he always did. And then I respond to my uncle. My grandpa pretty much was just contrarian, disagree with everything you had to say, knew he was right about everything, and just wouldn't take no guff off nobody. So just good old boy, and the accents. Like I always tell you, I can't do accents, but I can do their 3 voices, and they all sound different. And it's so then I take all that home, and I put all 3 of those sequences in a line in my edit screen, and then I start cutting and adding and cutting. Sometimes I'll go in there and I'll just cut, here's all the lines I want to use for this sketch, and here's the topic I want to cover, and then I'll go cut all the lines I need out of this other sketch, and then, and then I'll throw all those together and I'll throw it together, and it'll be, like 4 or 5 minutes long, and then I go in there and start layering, and, with jump cuts, layering it a little bit gets you a better, it's almost like an actual reaction
Do you
time,
actually
like in a
cut
conversation.
yourself off on purpose in some of these clips?
Yeah.
Like it's a
Some of
very
them cut like it's like a
in the middle of a word.
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
And I feel like that's unintentional.
no,
And it's
But to me, that's just
100%.
how those men talk. They cut each other off, and
So when you start this, and now this is all weird, but when you start talking in their voices, right? When you start doing the character, does it start writing itself
Yeah,
sometimes?
absolutely.
The character starts saying
Yeah.
stuff that Jerry Wayne Longmire might not have written
no,
on his own.
no. When I fall into that, when I do my uncle, and I was very close to him, and I start pumping my thumbs on my chest, and I rock a little bit because he'd kind of rock and sit there, because he was always thinking of something smart ass to say.
Do you remember? The old business philosopher Napoleon Hill? He wrote "Think and Grow Rich."
Oh yeah, yes.
Old, one of those
In the
minds.
Zig Ziglar days.
Yeah, back in the So he wrote in that book about this. It got kind of metaphysical towards the end, but like the woo-woo stuff. But he talked about creating this mastermind group in your head, right? Of the table of mentors and greater minds that came before you that you would assemble if you could. And then he would talk into this hypnotic state where he could communicate with that table full of people and get advice
That's all I'm doing.
from that. And that's kind of that's what you're doing, right? You just
these
sort
are
of
all echoes of
channel-
the men that mentored me and helped me become who I am. And as much as they hated parts of who I am, where it gets really weird, okay, because me and my dad don't have the strongest relationship anymore. And where it gets really weird is, and those other two men are gone. I was doing one where I was going to talk about my show at the Improv, and I was going to have them talk about how, Junior's finally getting his shit together. He found something he's good at.
Mhm.
He's got this big show at the Improv and all that stuff. They all called me Junior. And so I did that, and I was just sort of going through the dialogue and doing it, and I got done recording my grandpa's part, and for whatever reason, I said, well, maybe I'll go down there and watch him. And, bruh, when I turned the camera off, man, I was bawling. You know what I mean? Like, I fucked myself. I got too deep in the character.
You did it. You fell for your own impression.
Yeah, I hurt myself with it a little bit. It was like I have another character that I've created that I'm working on. I've only done one sketch with him, but it's my mom's younger brother that I was very close with. This is one I wear around my neck, and he's Uncle Touche. He's from the special. He's my Uncle Bobby, and I can't really do his character a lot yet because it's a little raw still.
Yeah.
I filmed a couple things with it, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold off on this for a minute. I'm gonna sit on this for a minute until I think of a good place to put him.
I think it's brilliant that, and I just want to close that circuit, but
Yeah.
the fact that instead of just doing these ads, like, because the big question, every single comic out there is who's getting any sort of attention on TikTok, which seems to be almost every comic who's doing anything quality. But they're starting to get that attention, but they can't fill rooms. They don't know what they're doing, and it's just interesting to me that you're like, oh yeah, here's my approach, and suddenly I sold out a city I've never played.
I read a book.
Stop.
It wasn't a long one.
6 pictures.
A magazine. Call it what you will. But they said
The back of a cereal box, goddammit.
But one of the things that intrigued
Shampoo
me in
bottle.
there, it was talking about marketing and advertising through the centuries, how like deodorant was like a marketing scheme, and all these things that we take for granted now and we think we need were just based on some dude that really knew how to sell some shit.
Vegetables.
Yeah, I'm with you there, brother. Preach. That's how you look. Yeah, anyways. Or like that. See, it doesn't really fucking mean anything.
Right?
It's all a lie.
Totally means nothing.
That's why vegetables are a lie right here. This is the dichotomy
You
of the
cannot
lie.
eat them and look any way you want.
The fucking, what do you call it? Anyway, there was just this line at the beginning of one chapter. It said, television was invented to sell things. Television and television programming was invented to sell things. The people, when they first invented the television, the first person said, hey, we're going to write these programs. And if you go and you look back at the very old television, soap operas are called soap operas because they were made to sell soap.
Wait, what? I couldn't even guess why they were called soap operas.
Were little short opera stories of a running dialogue that went every day so that they could push soap ads on people.
I thought they were called soap operas because women cried and then they needed soap to pick up the mascara.
No, it's
What?
sell soap. And every, like, if you look at like a
so they were playing stories to the mom or to
that,
the stay-at-home. I
they
guess
were selling their soap. And then later on, vacuum cleaners and horseshit and whatever, and makeup and perfume. And it's that TV was invented to sell things. So I thought, so here's the thing. Would you rather follow a guy that spends every day blasting you with flyers and sending you invites to fucking shit you don't want to go to, and that kind of annoying, that shit's all like, it's all like static noise anymore. You know what I mean? And flyers, what's your return on it? 1% if you're lucky.
0.
Yeah.
It's well, I mean, it's
just become background noise.
Yeah.
But what if you follow a dude that was making something that you want to watch anyways, and then subtly through you're watching it, also he lets you know, hey, if you want to see me live, I'm gonna be at this place.
And that's all they're listening for is trigger words about their own cities, right?
Yeah.
Wait, Fort Worth, huh?
Oh, and those especially when I do, like, you'll see when I do the ones for Louisville, when I talk about Kentucky and my Appalachian background, and I start making these videos to promote our shows in Kentucky, it's going to be all about, my fat ball's from Humboldt. He's from Humboldt, Tennessee. He's Appalachian as they come, and that's where my people come from. And so I'm going to trigger that, and I'm going to work that, not an angle, it's just who I am. I'm going to work that to say, look, I come from your kind of people.
There's going to be milk jugs and washboards all across that audience.
One can only hope.
I hope so desperately.
Look, bro, if anybody ever shows up with a motherfucking washboard to one of my shows, I'm going to sign that son bitch naked. Okay?
Okay, listen, anybody in Kentucky right now that is thinking about bringing a washboard to the show.
August 25th through 29th. Be there. Comedy Caravan.
Just give me a warning. Just give me a heads up before you pop out the Sharpie. Well, yeah.
I had somebody today he was like, man, I'm trying to buy tickets. I want to see you in Louisville. I was like, well, look up Slade Ham because I'm featuring for him. He's like, oh, okay, because I couldn't find your name. I was like, no, it's not going to be on there. I'm the feature act.
That won't last long. The next time around. But we're gonna have a good time. We're there the last week of August. Mary Whitaker, hopefully we'll be making it down to the show. We're driving, by the way, so I think you can bring any whiskey you want, Kentucky fans. This is 100 proof rye that we're drinking, a straight rye. This is good.
And if you follow me, EW is my machine.
That's you want your Evan? Do they have is there a distillery out there?
That's where it's from.
In Louisville?
Not in Louisville.
I mean, it's a bourbon, so it's got to be from
a little farther west.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we set up a tour at Evan Williams?
That'd be cool.
You can get in on your TikTok clout. I'll shoot a Slade runner down there. So it'll.
I'm gonna take them this bottle they just sent me. I'm mad as hell about it. It's not square. It wobbles.
Wait, what?
The bottle wobbles. It's not square.
The bottle wobble. Wait, that's a band I'm into.
I made a video. I was like, this will not stand. I mean, it does, but it's wobbly as fuck.
Did they send it to you, or did you go get one?
Well, I got it from Total Wine,
And it just
the label's fucked up on it, and it wobbles. I mean, it's empty now, but
you got one of those put together by it was the people on guest day.
So you know about this? Okay, well, not quite what you said, but have you ever heard this? Like, remember when America did all the manufacturing when we were growing up?
Right, yeah, of course.
Did you ever hear this thing about, like, oh, I got me a Friday car, or I got a Monday car? So I said this shit the other night. Rachel did not know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because I said, I got a Monday or a Friday bottle. And she's like, what does that mean? I was like, that means
guy didn't give a fuck.
Hungover people made it, or
on
people
the way out the door
ready to go out and party made it.
Sometimes, though, these companies, I don't have any of them. Maybe I do. I remember Stranahan's used to, still have them. They would bottle their stuff where they'd bring people who like Stranahan's that come in to bottle that day, and then they would handwrite on the label what they were listening to or what they were doing. So sometimes these old labels would be stuck on crooked as shit. I'm sure they had quality control, but probably not by midnight. I knew the distillers, and they drank. So by the end of the day, you got a either morning or night bottle.
I've always wondered that. I've never met a distiller, but I would just besides Joseph,
right?
But I've never spent that much time with him talking to him about it. But I would just. Like, do you You get your little taste.
You gotta
know,
take it. You
like,
gotta take a
you
nip
just
the whole
little-
time.
little- like, man, where's it at right now? Ooh,
Yeah,
well,
you're
I need about
always-
another 7 years in a casket.
Always
but-
a little drunk. You're like a used car salesman,
Yeah,
where
man.
it's just a bottle in the
I'm
drawer.
always amazed by them people. Those sommeliers,
Sommeliers, sommelier,
the
the wine
like a French
tasters.
word?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I knew what it spelled like. It spelled like
Those
sommeliers. Sommeliers. That's what I always thought.
I
it
am the
was.
captain now.
And like, how do you like? I like a lot of different whiskeys, and they taste different to me. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna drink this and be like, oh, I'm picking up hints of caramel and fucking oak spice. And what the fuck is oak spice? You know,
Right. There's
Does
only
it taste like a tree?
right. You can name like if you have a vocabulary that's like 40
Yeah, is
things,
it all bullshit?
ingredients different. I think you are bullshit. I think you can go online and watch those guys taste like Boone's Farm. Like, ooh, hints of blah blah blah. You're like, that's a $7 bottle of gas station
That's
wine.
7-Eleven wine.
Yeah, come
Fuck
on
off.
now. So that's the. But when they start saying stuff like raisins and currants and cardamom,
Yeah, I don't even
and
know what fucking currant is.
some of the things they say I thought were clothes. Like I don't even know what they're.
Currant. Oh, I bought my mom one of those for
Right?
Mother's
I
Day.
got her too. I got her.
She loved it.
Got her Mother's Day currant and 2 cardamoms.
I just always wonder if those guys are bullshit because
And a
I've
pair of
watched the
clothes.
wine dudes, and then there's this there's a bourbon dude that I was watching for a minute, and I could tell you when he would tell you something was good if it was more than about $100 a bottle.
See, but that's the doing it blind, and I've been blind tested. I can tell the difference between whiskeys. I can't always tell you. My palate is so unrefined, though,
Yeah.
that I'm old granddad or whatever is like fantastic whiskey to me because I don't.
I could blind test like if you blinded me or not blind me.
I
but
blind
just-
tested Joe's.
but
Some,
I could probably do most of Humble. I've had
Mhm.
most of his whiskeys. I could probably do. And I know I could tell Jameson apart from anything else.
but you could spot Evan Williams from anywhere.
I can do Evan Williams
Up
I
against
know
anything.
Evan Williams against Jack Daniels. Evan Williams against George Dick, the other sour
Me
mashes.
and you are going to do it. We're going to do a taste off one day
Yeah,
because
that'd
that's
be fun, man.
and you can put me up. And I say Jameson because that'd be my go-to. But every bottle of that is so damn different that it's not
what
even.
did I have this weekend?
Blendeds are tough to do.
It was a different Irish whiskey. God dang, Kilgurins,
No,
cask strength or something like that. It was like sherry cask aged Kilgurins Irish whiskey.
I'm so into the sherry cask stuff.
Dude, it was so rich. It was the richest Irish whiskey I've ever had. Like
All right.
I kind of felt like I took a bite of bread after I took that drink.
Oh!
I was like, bruh, this makes
You
me feel
just
good
made me
inside.
sit up straight. That is, Mary says she'll bring a few bottles from Northern Kentucky, Greater Cincy, to the Louisville shows now that you know we're driving. Hey. Budweiser tastes delicious, Chris S. says. Miller High Life tastes just like I pissed out the Budweiser. All right.
Yeah, I despise beer.
Yeah,
So
that's-
I used to drink beer, and then I grew up and found whiskey.
Yes, this unrefined palate, Chris. The fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. Jerry Wayne Longmire, my guest on our podcast. Your TikTok is amazing. We'll talk more about it. I'm impressed, though, and it's turned into a very positive thing. So
It's turned into one of my favorite creative outlets.
I am. We need those.
I film and edit every day. And I love it.
Cheers to that. Follow him, Jerry Wayne Longmire, on there. And Goodwill Loden, thank you so much for coming in on absolutely no notice to fill in for 2 COVIDs and we don't know. So we'll see you guys on another episode soon.
I believe in good whiskey, and I believe in good times. I believe in good music, loud guitars,